So welcome everyone again back to the Real Samantha. Today I want to talk a little bit about the first day at work, right? So you have prepared yourself mentally and physically for a job that you want, right? You got the job, and now it's your first day, okay? Which can be kind of nerve-wracking because it's like you got so much to learn. You're like, okay, I'm here. Where do I start? What do I do? Samantha got you, okay? On your first, most jobs, and pretty much they kind of run the same way, right? On most jobs, what they do is you might be introduced to a lot of people, right? So let's break everything down one by one, right? Let's say, for instance, you work in an office, right? What you need to do first is organize yourself, okay? If you're working in a company with more than one person or more than one employee, things like that, and you see that you're in the office with other people, right? What you need to do first is get yourself organized. Organize everything around you. Sometimes when you have, when you are in a company or you at a desk and things like that, you can focus better when you have things organized. So I'm going to encourage you out there to first of all to organize everything around you. You need to have a book and a pen, right? Or your phone. Your phone works just as good. Inside most phones, they have what they call like notes, a place where you can take notes, right? So what you want to do first, and once you get yourself organized, you need to know who to report to, right? Who am I to go if I have a problem with this? So sometimes there's different departments within a company that you need to report to for certain problems and issues and things like that. So you need to understand clearly what you need to do and who you need to report to, right? Once you figure out who you need to report to, you should be taking down those numbers, name and number, right? So again, if you're old school and things like that, you can take, get a pen and paper, write the name and number down, right? And maybe the person's position, or you can take your phone and go into the notes and you can take the name, number, and the messages down in the notes, right? So let's say you have a problem with technology. Today's your first day and your computer goes down. Because sometimes things happen when you're in your first day and you're like, oh God, I can't believe this. Who do I talk to? Where do I go? Blah, blah, blah. You have all these questions. So you need to figure out or have one person that you go to, or maybe the person that walk you to your desk. Say, okay, if I got a problem with this, who do I talk to? Do it right then and there. Okay, give us a name, telephone, contact, email. Sometimes everything is done through email these days. So have a place where you can store names and telephone numbers, right? So you want to put it somewhere, whether it's on your wall or in your office. Again, it could be inside your phone. Everything don't have to be, manually put away. You have everything inside your phone in the palm of your hands, which even makes it even better, right? But again, when you work in a professional setting, there's emails involved and things like that. So if you work in an office, things like that, you need to store it into your phone and into your computer too. You can do it in your computer. You guys figure it out because each computer is set up a certain way, different way. So you can store it in your computer, your phone, your tablet. What else? Basically, you know what I mean. So contacts, right? So make sure you store a place for your contacts. The second thing is you want to make sure that you know who to go to in terms of who's over you. Who is to report to you. So you need to understand who. Like I said, if you're in the management realm and things like that, you need to know who you're over, who is to report to you. You need to also get a job description. You need to understand what your role and responsibilities are at that company and on your job. I mentioned this before in another video. So again, it's okay. I'm going to rephrase it or whatever. You need to make sure that you are also know your responsibilities and role, right, while you're at the company. We all know what we bring, things like that. We know what we're capable of and what we can do and things like that. But again, you need to have a clear understanding of what you need to, what your role is, right? And who to report to in case of, emergencies and things like that. It's always good to do, good to know. Also, it's good to have a role, your role and responsibilities written out somewhere because again, you don't know how long you're going to be at this company. You might not like it. It might be a thing that you pursued or a job that you pursued, and now it's like, okay, I want to get out of this. This ain't for me, that kind of thing. So now you need to, basically add that onto your resume. So again, you want to make sure that you are refreshed on what you did and things like that, the initiatives and awards and everything like that. So Again, have it somewhere, even if at home on your desk at home, okay? But just know what you are in charge of, okay? Also, you want to make sure that you are not gossiping with other employees, okay, about your last company or about your current company. You don't want to start the gossiping group. You know what I mean? That's not what it's about. Your job is to be there, do your job. Of course, make friends and things like that, but you don't want to start off that way. You want to start off by introducing yourself. Say, okay, I'm so-and-so from accounting. I'm so-and-so from this place or whatever. Or let's say if you're new to retail or something like that, you can say, well, I'm a new cashier that's just starting today. What you guys do on a regular basis, if you don't have somebody who's basically training you, side by side next to you, you can also reach out to the people that's next to you and say, okay, you do this. What is it you do on a regular basis? I just got hired here. Don't be surprised if people don't want to show you or train you, okay? Don't be shocked or anything like that. You need to take it upon yourself because it's you. This is you in the company. So whatever you decide to do in that company is up to you. If you want to learn something, you do whatever it takes to learn it, right? And I'm not saying whatever it takes to do something bad, nothing like that. But on your downtime or on your break, you say, let's go over to the other department and say, okay, what do you do? How do you maintain your department? Things like that. But I'm not saying to take it on a negative way. So please don't take that negative, I'm just saying that it's good to take initiative to learn what you want to learn, right? So that way you can do your job better, and it also looks good on the boss because, again, they figure they just hired you. They don't really know you. But again, if they see you being resourceful and you finding tools and things like that to get the job done faster and quicker, and it only looks good for you and for your boss. So again, you want to take those initiatives and say, you know what, damn, I've been working with this copy machine for the last week. I've been messing up these printers and things like that, or messing up the copies and things. I need to learn how to do this a little bit better. So again, and this is just something simple. You go over to the copy machine, you see somebody there. Look, show me how you do this, how you fix this. Introduce yourself. Again, when you're fairly new, you need to make sure that, again, you're introducing yourself to people around you. People know who you are. Anybody, you ain't walking up to somebody and they looking at you like, okay, I didn't see you yesterday, But again, be nice, stay positive. Again, your attitude and your body language means a lot, and it shows a lot about you. You don't want to you don't want to start a company off. And I got to tell my sisters out there, because it really, a lot of us out there doing this, starting off with the gossip. Oh, did you see so-and-so? Oh, what about so-and-so? Or this and that. Stop it, okay? It does not look good. It does not look good for you starting out with a company and starting off negative, or speaking negatively. There's a time and place for that. And I try to explain to you guys before in another video that I did about taking that kind of those issues and things like that outside of the company where you make money, okay? You don't want to bring negativity around you where you make your money, okay? If anything, you want to continue growing within the company that you're in. You want to make sure that you learn all that you can within your role. And again, if you know something that can help the person next to you, that you see that they may be struggling with, reach out and help them. Say, oh, I know how to do that. I'm good with that. I can show you that, I'm not saying give everything away that right? But sometimes it's good to do when it comes to like bridging the gap between you and entering into a new company, right? Because again, you want to build those relationships off because there might be something that you don't know that they might know, and you will want somebody to help you or reach out to you, or you might say, damn, I wish she would show me that, but you might not, have the courage yet, to ask for help, and I also want to encourage you sisters out there and brothers out there, get the courage up to ask for help. A lot of us don't like to ask for help, If you need it, ask for it, okay? People cannot read your mind. People cannot tell you, oh, so-and-so, I see you need this and that. You need to open up your mouth and ask what you want, right? I feel like a lot of us females out there do not ask for what we want, as opposed to most men. I don't know if this is correct to say, but I'm just saying for what I see or what I've seen over the past that I've worked, right? Is that when it comes to things that we want, we tend to feel like we're not good enough. Or am I doing enough? Am I worth this? Let's say like you're asking for a raise, Make sure before you ask for a raise, like I said, I'm kind of skipping over what I wanted to talk about, but I got to throw this in there as well. make sure that when you ask for a raise, that you have or is doing your job and you are doing more. And you're able to prove what you're doing before you ask for a raise. Okay? And what I mean by that is, let's say for instance that you were given a budget, right? And a lot of companies, they give you a budget, especially when you work in management, and they want to see what you do with that budget. So if you are able to maximize the budget, right? Not maximize, I'm talking about maximize in terms of the people and the workload to the best of your ability and more, right? And the company tends to is making money for whatever decision that was, right? And you're able to capture the time that you started, right? Capture the time that you started. So this is another tip on paper. So let's say, for instance, like you came in and the sales was at 3,000. I'm just throwing this out there. Sales were 3,000. So now you come to the company. So you want to snapshot what's going on around you. You came to the company and your sales are 3,000. What you implemented while you were there, now the sales has gone from 3,000 to now 6,000, 7,000, 8,000 and continue to grow, right? So you need to make sure that you are capturing when you first start, right? To up until the point where you are. I'll put it like that, right? And what you did to change that number from 3,000 to X, Y, and Z, right? So now you're at the point where like, okay, this is really working. So you prove what you put in is working. So whatever you put in, like I said, you guys fill in the blanks or whatever, you know what you're doing and things like that. So whatever you put in has now changed that number from 3,000 and now it's growing. Okay, so now you're at the point you're at your boss's desk and you're asking for a raise. Make sure that you have documentation that says this is where we are, this is what I want to do, and this is where we're headed, right? And because of this is what I've done. Okay, so explain what you've done. Okay, also remind them, okay, this is who I'm in charge of, this is what we're doing, this is what we're planning, things like that. So you want to make sure that you lay out a plan as to where you start, where you are currently, and where you want to go, right? So it's 3 steps, okay? So again, with all these 3 steps, you want to make sure that you are stay on top of everything. So this is why I try to tell you guys over and over to make sure that you know what you're doing, pay attention to what you're doing, make the bridge those gaps with other people around you. All those relationships mean something, especially when you're asking for raises and things like that. Sometimes you might not even have to do it. Sometimes people around you are watching you and they say, wow, that person's amazing. Oh, Samantha's amazing. Oh, she did this for me. She did that for me. Oh, she showed me how to do this. So you'd be surprised of where you can go just by, bridging that gap with somebody who works next to you, right? So again, that's why I say you don't want to start off negative. You want to make sure that you are confident in who you are. You're confident in what you can bring to the role. And again, also don't be so confident where you don't feel that you don't need to learn anything. A lot of us out there, especially managers, feel like, I don't need to learn anything. I've done this for 17 years, 20 years, 18 years, 20 years, 35 years, 50 years. It doesn't matter. You can always learn something new, right? And don't be afraid to teach and learn from other people, right? Don't be afraid of hearing, criticism. Sometimes you might, even though you've done a job for 15, 20 years or whatever, guess what? You're not the same person as you was 20 years ago or 22 years ago. Maybe back then you were more friendly. And maybe back then, you were willing to train and help people. But now you're at a point where you're like, you know what? I'm tired of this. I'm not going nowhere, this and that. Maybe this is why you're not going nowhere, because you started off negative. Now you're starting to negative gossip and things like that. You also, are causing chaos around you. You got people not getting along. You got people that report to you where you have been spreading their business around and things like that. And now people is getting back to people. So that it's like you causing chaos, and you might not even know it. It might be the people that speaking, saying hi to you every day. Hi, you doing, blah, 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 blah. But at the same time, behind your back, they're saying things that maybe not be correct, or maybe they just don't like you, things like that. But at the same time, again, you always want to keep things respectful. You want to stay honest. You want to make sure that you, like I said, stay on top of your training and things like that. So again, you want to be that person that people go to, right? But you don't want people to depend on you either. So you also want to make sure that you're showing them how to do it themselves. Or the trick is, you guys, and this is another tip, is to make sure that you let them talk and you listen, right? So you want them to figure out the answer for themselves, and you listen. Only you are to just guide them, right? So it's not so much giving them the food, right? What you want to do is show them where the spoon is, so that way they know how to dig out the answer for themselves, right? And you're going to see that they're going to show you. So as managers and leaders and things like that out there, with our people, you want to make sure, or people who report to you, want to make sure that you're not giving them the answer. As managers and things like that, we know the answers to a lot of these questions, especially if you've been on the job for 15, 17, 18, 20 years or whatever, 50 years, you know the answer. So what you want to do with new people and things like that around you is to, just guide them on how to do it. But let them do the talking and things like that. Let them figure it out on their own. Your job is just to guide the conversation. Say, okay, you know what? Okay, so you did this wrong. So okay, so what have you learned from this situation? What would you do different? Why would you do it different? Why is it important to do it differently the next time? What does it cost you? What was it that was in your power that you didn't do? So you want to give out those questions and things like that will help guide them to do it better the next time, right? And again, that also helps build their self-esteem and build their confidence in the company, because they're going to feel like, okay, I got somebody who is willing to help me, right? So I know I said a lot in this video, but again, your first day is very important. I want you guys to remember that, your first impression is your best impression. So anytime you are out there and you're introducing yourself to people, make sure you stay positive, keep a smile on your face, know that God is watching over you and things like that. And he's going to get you through the day. And again, make sure you're documenting your contacts, know who to report to. Make sure that you are building those relationships around you. Again, making sure that you're not gossiping with people around you about the gossip of what's going on with this person, that person. If they stay away from that kind of stuff, Again, it can only hurt you. It can hurt you. It can help you in any way, right? By starting off negative, right? But if you start off positive and you're introducing yourself and you feel good, you know what you're doing, that's the energy that people want to see. That's the energy that attracts people, right? Being positive. Again, make sure that you want to be that example. So you want to lead by example, okay? So always keep in mind that you want to lead by example. And leaders and management out there, make sure that you are also try to remember that when it was your first day, right? Remember, even if you've been with the company 17, 15, 25 years, my message to you guys are to make sure that you never forget the first day that you started and how you felt. So anytime you get somebody new around you and things like that, treat them with respect and honesty, and they will give it back to you, okay? So don't forget to hit like and hit subscribe. Also hit the notification bell. My daughter always tell me, Mommy, you don't say hit the notification bell. So I'm telling you guys now, hit that notification bell, subscribe. And I got more videos coming your way. The next thing we're going to talk about is money. So we're going to break down the different programs and things like that a lot of companies have. And we're going to talk about how to save and how to set things up. And so it's going to be a lot of fun. So I hope you stay tuned. And until then, I'll see you next time.